Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Keely. I'm the owner of LoveHopeAdventure.com, and if this is your first time jumping on with me, welcome. Welcome to all my replay viewers. Welcome to everyone who's coming on. I know we're currently staring at a pot of spaghetti that I am making for dinner, but I just thought it might be nice to have something else to start the scope with besides my backyard. I'm going to flip it around and I'll walk over to my spot. I just thought it might be nice to show you what we're having for dinner tonight. I love spaghetti. It is honestly my favorite thing to eat and make. So, let me get set up here. Today I was writing a post about spending time with my husband and how I make that a priority. I was sort of thinking back about a few weeks ago. My husband had been gone for like 3 days during lunchtime. And I remember like day number 2 thinking, gosh, we haven't really had the time to talk with each other. And then day number 3, we got to dinner time and I was like, wow, I still haven't had a chance to talk to him about what was going on in his life. And so I thought, man, when we get out of our routine, the things that we normally do to make sure we connect and have time with each other, we have to make different, decisions with our life. And we sort of had failed to do that. So it got me thinking about how important it is to make sure that we make it a priority to spend time with our spouse. So if you have a very busy week and something goes kind of different than your normal schedule, then you have to be more proactive with it and really focus on spending time together, finding the time to talk. Now, I know you're not always going to have as much time to spend with one another as every day. There's going to be seasons where you're both going to be a lot more busy, but that shouldn't be an excuse to you to not find a way to spend with them. And so for my husband and I, we both work jobs that allow us to have most of our lunch times together. That doesn't happen every day, but it does happen a couple of times a week. We definitely make sure it's a priority on the weekends. And our kids, they still go to their rooms for quiet hour. We're about to lose that because I have a kid who's going to be in the 6th grade next year. And he won't be going to his room every afternoon like he is right now. But we do spend that time together. We put the kids down. We have our time to eat. And as the flow of my house has to change, we will change what we do. Try that with teenagers, right? Like I said, yeah, I'm going to have a 6th grader next year. So rest time is going away. I don't make my kids sleep at all. I just make them go to their room and be quiet by themselves. It's so important that we all learn how to do that. And that was something that was part of my home life growing up. So we've kept it up. I know that's going to be very different when I have teenagers. And my husband and I will have to change how we connect with one another and the time we spend together. And so my thought was this. Whatever season of life you're in, you have to figure out how you're going to make that time with your spouse happen. And it needs to happen daily. If you go too many days without connecting, you're just missing out on that time in their life. And I know not everyone can check in every day because there will be those situations. Maybe your husband is military or something like that, and you can't necessarily talk with him every day, or maybe your wife travels out of town. And sometimes that's the case. But if you live in the same house together and you guys are, home together, making that time is very important. So I encourage you to find ways to do that, to make spending time important with your spouse, whatever that looks like to you, whenever that works for you. And maybe that means you have to give up something. Maybe that means you're overcommitted and you are just too busy and you need to drop a commitment. Certainly there are some things you can't drop. You can't drop your way you earn your money. You're not going to drop time with your children or maybe your other family members. But maybe there are other obligations you have to say goodbye to for just a season. And I know I've had to do that in my life, and it's not easy to say I can't do this right now because I have to put my priorities over here. But it is important, and it does help keep down that stress in your marriage. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Keely, and if you'd like to see what I'm blogging about, go over to LoveHopeAdventure.com, where I talk about the marriage relationship and give you great tips on how you be closer with your spouse. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.